So first off, have to say that that little thumbnail image I generated is hilarious. But that is exactly kind of the vibe and what I wanted to hit on. I'll make sure you don't end up like that dude in the crowd, just solo vibing, looking down, sad, downtrodden, reflective, just feeling hurt because all these people around, everybody came out to have a good time, and you just can't seem to connect with anyone. Can't start a conversation with anyone. Can't approach anyone. Can't even open your mouth to say hello. When you do open your mouth, voice gets real quiet, real. I won't even say it. I won't even say it real soft. Now, what I was really thinking was even worse than that. So we'll just call it what it is, soft. But we could really go in. Hey, I won't do it to you right now. Anyways, so yeah, that's the reason I made this. The lives are a little bit more personal. Friday when I went out, it was definitely not my best night out. I would even say worst night out in weeks, maybe months. So ups and downs are real. However, even Friday, that night out, that was the worst in months. Um, Still way better than when I started. I didn't feel like uncomfortable being out. First, I went out solo, and was happy to do that. Like other times in the past, friends or others going with me would certainly sway me more. And if it came down to, oh, just it might be just me, or it might be just me and one or two other people, or what if this person that I really like and is really close to me isn't there? Am I still gonna go? Like, yeah, all that stuff now is like, I'm ready to go. Like, it's time to hit the gym, kind of metaphorical gym, but gym too. But like time to hit the field and get out there. Like, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to do this. And that's even been like a potentially awkward thing, depending on your perspective. Because I have been so committed to this, because I have made it a priority, because I have been getting out there every week, multiple days a week. Average, I'm sure, is like over 2 hours a day of this. So it's that's a part-time job. I've kind of made it my job to get better at this. And again, those are like low end estimates, but because I've been putting in the time, to as one YouTuber says, become a socializer. Uh, that's been less time for other things, and other things have had to go by the wayside, and often what that has often meant is other people. Some friends and others that I enjoy and enjoy hanging out with and think are cool and think very highly of. I have not been spending as much time with them, and really, I'm okay with that. It's kind of it's not exactly what I would describe as like a win-win situation. It would be cool if got to hang out with them and go out and be a socializer. But two things: one, they are not certainly not all as interested in going out to these more social environments as I am. So they don't really vibe with that so much. And then when we are out and I go with other people, I definitely tend to feel like um, a pull to stay with them. Like we're here as a group. Granted, I have gotten better at that as well. There's even one friend I have now. I actually need to get back to. So if you're somehow watching this and you know that's you, um, my buddy that met at Flash told me about the Sunday Love events. If you're watching, hey, that's a coded message. But the point was with him, it's I'm much more comfortable. Like, hey, we're both out together. We'll come and talk and regroup for a bit, and then I'll go off and kind of wander and do my own thing. Even another newer guy again. Also met at Flash, had to see a few times. But as a regular there is very much a regular there as he showed me. Another guy where enjoy the interactions with him, good conversations, and then may go off do separate things, separate places, run into him again later on, maybe talk again. But it's not like, hey, we're in a group, we need to stick together in this group the whole night, and we're here together, right? Um, it's like we're here at the same place, and we maybe even like plan to be here at the same place, same time, but we're also still like solo. And hey, sometimes we stop the solo stuff because the interactions are cool, and in those moments we are present in those interactions and we are enjoying them because we enjoy each other's company. And like I said, there, I think of them as friends. Newer friends that I don't know as well and haven't had as much time with, but certainly from what I can tell in my interactions with them, they've been cool. So the whole point of all that was to say that kind of going out, you still right. That's one area where I've certainly gotten better is being solo, right? Like the group stuff, and it's kind of even gotten to a point like, and I hate to say this because I don't want people to take it the wrong way. So like, chill. But it's even gotten to the point of like sometimes I feel like going out with others slows me down, right? Because like I said, with some people, I am certainly feeling more of like, okay, we are here together. And because we're here together, I then don't do as much talking to new people, right? I'm talking to the people that I'm there together with. And like I said, it is a priority. I'm making this a priority. I'm putting a lot of time and energy and effort into this. And so I'm doing that because I want it. I want the results. I want to get better. And so to go out, spend a Friday or Saturday night out and not do that, and like that's one side, and then enjoying the friends. It's a little bit of a conflict, uh, and it doesn't have to be. Again, I have made more friends from being out, so that's cool. But the friends I had before, like I said, were also like very very cool. Life near lifelong friends, people I've known for years and decades and stuff like that. So I don't exactly want to just leave them behind and don't exactly feel good about consciously deciding to spend less time with them. But at the same time, like I know why I'm doing it, and I know it is something that I am choosing to do. And although it's a choice that comes with pros and cons, right? As many things. And so that just kind of is what it is. Like I said, I could feel like bad about that, or maybe lean into it a bit more. Nah, forget that. Like, nah, it's not even like that at all. Um, Again, I don't have a bad thing to say about it, but it is a thing of like I got to invest in me. Like, this is my one life to live. I feel like this is part of like why am here. Like, part of my purpose in living is to do this. Like this life has brought me here, I believe, for a reason. And I believe this is making me better. And so that is why I have made it a priority. So all good things, right? And like even going into those things, the reason I like went on that even like little side tangent, if you even want to call it that, because it's not even a tangent, because there was a point to it the whole time. The point is to show, as you start to identify with these things, as you start to live it, as you start to go through it, right? Your perspective shifts, right? You will think about these things, but as you become committed, you recognize the changes that it takes to become successful, right? And it's not a negative thing. It's just a thing of, okay, what level do I want to get to? And am I willing to put in the work to that's required to actually get to that level, right? The whole part about like knowing what you need to do to get to higher levels, that's the reason you're here watching this channel, right? I'm here to help you become more social, right? That's the whole reason for these videos, is to help you become more social. So as you're learning how to become more social, right? Really take it on, like really, really own that change in your life, because owning it and embodying it and internalizing it will help you succeed, right? Making it part of your identity will help you live it, not just do it or study it or watch it, like live it. All good, right? That is even in itself like major, major advice for how to not have these nights out where you go out, don't end up talking to anyone. And so to avoid the awkwardness and, not just go home completely embarrassed that you showed up, couldn't even open your mouth to say anything to anyone. And that was a complete waste. You just dance a little bit and tell yourself, well, I'm just here for the music. I just like this DJ. I just like this genre, and it's kind of rare. Not everywhere has it. Not everywhere is playing this type of music. So therefore, it's okay if I'm just here existing and taking up space for the music. Don't make those excuses for yourself. Show up, right? Get this handled. Every night you go out and do that, it's leaving a little imprint in your memory, right? This imprint of that time you sucked, right? Of that time you tried to face life and lost, right? That is how many of you will think of this, right? Even me telling you to shift your perspective, to view it as a journey, to view it as a process, right? To view it as building, right? To view it as changing, to view it as growth, to view it as fun, to view it as an experiment, to view it as a roll of the dice, to view it as trying to have more experiences instead of having things happen to you, right? I can tell you this from dusk till dawn, night till day, till night again, but you'll still be stuck because you haven't put in the time, right? You haven't been serious about changing. I don't even want to like come at you, but part of my job as someone who is helping to motivate and enable people to change and succeed is to sometimes switch it up, right? Like, I'd like to be here, supportive, caring, and all, but sometimes you need the fire lit up under your butt as well, right? You need to recognize how bad it is right now so that you can actually commit to changing and improving and getting better. Seriously. Seriously. You don't know how many people out at Flash just, I shouldn't even say the name of the place because it's not even about the place. It happens everywhere. That's just a place I like. So that's actually like an advertisement, right? Like it's a cool place. I enjoy it. I like the vibes there. So maybe you shouldn't go to Flash, like because some of y'all need to put the work in first. Look, don't don't show up looking suspect, right? That lost, confused look. just taking laps, bumping into people, moseying through the crowd just so that you're not standing in one space so people don't recognize the fact that you just lost in the sauce. Some of y'all need some help. And that is why I'm here, right? Hopefully that's why you're watching, is to get the help that you recognize you need, right? That you recognize will benefit you. This is medicine, right? It may be a bitter pill to swallow, but like I say, it doesn't even have to be. You can change your perspective, you'll be that much farther along. But even beyond changing your perspective, you need to change your actions. You need to change how you're showing up. You need to change your level of success. You need to change your reality. You need to change your identity in terms of how you see yourself. The way you are acting is a result of the way you are seeing yourself. And if you see yourself in a different light, you will act accordingly, because you will act in a way that is true to who you are, right? I'm talking about real, legitimate growth, right? And even me saying that, growth, growth, improvement, development is a key, right? So that even that point is lost on some of y'all. That is a key. If I say change, if I say doing things differently, some of you will inherently reject that. Your ego is so strong, you will reject it. It will be repulsive to you to listen to someone even dare tell you to change. You'll be true to who you are, right? And at the same time, you show up in different ways in your life. Some days you're a little more down. Some days you're more up. You're more happy. You're more creative. You're more talkative. You're in a lighter, more playful mood. Other times you're more melancholy. You're more chill. You're more whatever. All of this is part of you. If you try to do one thing or the other, it wouldn't be changing you. All of those things are part of you, right? You have tapped into them before, you will again, and you can. So why don't you use that to your advantage? Why don't you embrace that? It's not changing you. You will always be authentically you. But if you want success, you need to do the things that will help you succeed. You need to grow. Stop being afraid of improving your life. Do you really want to succeed? That is the question. When you really want it, you will make the change. And you keep saying, oh, I'll do it later. Well, even watching this is helping me. This is a little drop in the bucket. You haven't committed. It's a whole different ball game. It's a whole different level. This, without the commitment, without the practice, without the internalization that comes from living it, like honestly, it can get to a point where this is too much and actually makes things worse. Like you think it's helping you, but you've learned the lesson in the wrong way. Like that can happen. That is real. I have seen that. So you need to be getting out there. You need to be doing it. You need to be living it. So, identity, key point, core, like should just be like entry level. Again, because that feeds into motivation, which again should just be entry level. Like, talking about, oh, I need help getting motivated. I just really don't feel like it. Man, that's not even kindergarten stuff, right? Like, time is passing by. Opportunities are passing by. People every day, like, this is part of the change, is that you have to realize like how bad it is now. And you're saying, well, it's not that bad. I mean, I'm living life. This is, I wouldn't rate my happiness, below a five. That's probably what many of you are saying. Generally things are okay. But if I ask you if you're financially successful, what would you say? If I ask you, do you have an abundant dating life? What would you say? If I ask you, do you have more friends than you can keep count of? Do you have more people begging for your time that you can even meet, right? People begging you for business deals. Do you have it? Why not? Why haven't you gotten this handled? Why aren't people knocking on your door to work with you, to be around you, to learn from you, to chill with on a random Tuesday night or Saturday during the day or whenever you are free? Right? Why aren't they coming to you asking for you to take time away from these other things? Right? They just enjoy your company so much. Every day should be happening. Every day. Every day. And they should come in knowing this, right? They should have seen it from others. Should be that obvious, that apparent. Look at the difference between that and what you're living now. No text for days, weeks. It's probably been months since someone you actually wanted to talk to called you. How long since you called somebody and really talked to them? Huh? How long since you had a great night out? Right? One that you'll never forget. How long since you've done that with somebody new? And then done it again, and then done it again, and then done it again, and then done it again. Right? This can be transformative, right? It can be so easy, it can be so different, so amazing. You probably can't even fathom it. But you got to be willing to do what it takes to change and improve and grow, right? So we've said identity and motivation, right? Basic stuff, okay? Even me saying that it's basic, though, understand takes time, process, will require change. But I have many other videos, right? Check out the personal development playlist, right? Talks about many of these things, right? And don't just limit your learning to just me. Hey, if you like the way I deliver information, thank you. But there's other people who have good information as well. So check their stuff out. My stuff is probably better, from what I've seen, from what I put out. Yeah, it's better. 100%. That's why I'm not watching their stuff right now, because this is better. I've had to learn from them, right? I've stood on their shoulders so that I could see farther, right? I've only reached the heights I have reached because of their work and those who have come before me, right? I would not be here without them for sure. But at the same time, I have honored their work by learning from it, by studying it, by honing it, by living it, and then by taking it further, right? Not a game. Not a game. Living it. Like I said. So, Friday, not the best night out for me. However, way beyond the bad nights out when I started. The little anxiety I would feel just being alone, thing of the past, right? Right. That's a memory of, yeah, I remember when that used to happen. Does not happen. Right. Even certain places I go, people mean mugging me, right? I've been out solo, run into a dude. I hate to say it because you know, I'd put it like this: he came in with a group of friends that included a young woman. He was very close with the young woman, proximity wise. Believe even dancing together for a short time, and she left him and the group of friends to hang out with me. Ran into him another time when I was out. Him and his boys. Oop, oop, awkward, awkward. Nah, it was cool. It was cool. I could have, I could have been nervous, could have been anxious, could have. Oh shit, time for me to go. Nah, it was cool. It was cool because I have achieved right that level of state control. Right, I am able to regulate my mood like that. Right, I am able to stay calm in these new environments. Right, with the loud music, with the dancing, with the drunk people, with the slight bumps from being in the crowd and people walking by, with the mean mugging. I've transcended that. Right, not to say it can't come up again. Maybe it will. I'm sure it probably will at some point in time, but I'm also sure that it'll be fleeting. Right. Like that is what you get from years of being out in the field multiple hours a week every week for years. Right, so that a good night before used to be when that wasn't as bad. Now a bad night includes none of that anxiety, right? None of that discomfort, none of that self-judgment and introspection, right? Which then frees up my brain for other stuff, right? Opens me up in other ways, allows my energy to flow in a way that it wouldn't otherwise, right? And people see and notice that and react to it for sure. Like that still amazes me, again, having been out here for years, like the degree to which that happens and the degree to which people pick it up. So you know, super interesting to see. Uh, but yeah, again, like that is why you got to be out there doing it. Like this stuff, it is beyond what you can imagine. Like it's not just me saying this. Like many, 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 many people say this. Right? Everyone who's been at it for long enough says this. Right? And like many of them kind of knew about it again. Like it's not. They did not come in unawares, right? They came in having studied, having had some awareness, and yet still end up seeing things that amaze and surprise and shock and all, So it's real. It's real. So again, not the best night out, but better than the nights out when I started, right? And that is a sign of growth. Um, What wasn't as good though was, again, not there were slight moments where there were little dips in mood, right? So normally I'm very, very happy, just enjoying things, like smiling, feeling like everything's good, right? Like life is good, and this is just like the cherry on top of the icing on top of the cake that has ice cream on the side and chocolate sprinkles and like all that, all the goodness, all of it. Straight snack, cakes. Got enough cakes, right? So that is like my general vibe. Like that is how I am usually went out. Then there would be slight moments though where it's like, hey, smile, everything's good. And then it's like, in this exact moment, things are good, but I don't really feel like smiling. And then it comes back like, all right. Right. So these like little dips, right? Like small little, um, yeah, I don't know. I'm struggling to think of another word to describe it, but like little, like flickers, flickers, right? Where like the normal like super bright light that I am emanating like goes a bit dimmer, or and trying to think of like why that is. Well, first, like I'll even start with the like I feel like more important part is like what to do about it, right? And this like shows a level of like growth and maturity. The thing to do about it is to just like accept it, to recognize it and let it go. Um, don't get too attached to being to feeling any sort of way about it. Just accept it and keep going. At the same time, still having a larger goal that you're working towards. At the same time, still thinking about what may happen differently in the future, right? And so that then gets me into the second part. All right. So what wanting things to happen differently in the future, what could be tweaked or changed or adjusted to get a different result or different outcome next time. Um, One, I feel like in terms of like the different things that I've ingested, let's say, the chemicals from food or drinks or whatever has been a little bit different than maybe some past months. So maybe that's why this night out was just the accumulation of some of those things that have caught up with me. Whereas in the past few months, I was moving in the other direction away from those things. And so maybe that has an impact. You know, hey, I'm just be fully real, fully transparent. Talking about the weed. Uh, so yeah, just saying that. Um, yeah, alcohol wise though has very good. Like it's been a long time since I've drank, like months. So definitely going in the right direction there, and that wasn't always the case. Um, so some good, some bad. But overall, trending in the right direction with all that. Overall, down with all that. The weed, alcohol, even just like lower quality foods, excessive sugar. Trending in the right direction with that as well. So, like I said, like things just keep getting better and better, and it does extend into other areas of your life as well. Like as you get this handled, as you work toward this, it does help you and motivate you to look at other things, all the different parts of your life, and see what could go better. Right. So there's that. Um, but also accepting, right? Like not being too hard on yourself, because the judgment and harshness that comes with being out, right, that has impacts as well, right? Like I said, that impacts your motivation, that impacts, right, your sense of self-worth and self-esteem, right, and that's what I was really getting at earlier, where like when you have these nights out where you're not doing well, where you try and are failing to reach the heights of what you're trying to do, right, at a certain point in the journey, or for some people, right, and I really feel like it's also like a quantity thing. At certain quantities, like that impacts your self-esteem, and I really do feel like, again, people can pick up on that, right? Like that shines through. The self is always shining through, right? There may be certain aspects of it, certain sides of it that are showing at one time here or there, or more than others, but I do feel like it comes across in certain, maybe potentially subtle ways. So keep that in mind, right? So we've talked about all these different things, right, to help you make sure you don't end up going out not talking to anyone, right? Even on the bad night for me, I still talk to people, right? What does or has happened to me though is brief interactions, right? Like maybe I say a few things, talk for a couple of minutes, and then feel like it doesn't quite get to the point where the other person is also investing and also sharing, right? Things don't get there, right? And part of that really is like me stopping short before it gets there, right? When starting these interactions with other people, you should expect that you go up, start talking to someone else, right? You should expect that you start the interactions, right? Not that they start them. So don't expect that you'll go out and other people will just come up to you. Again, that can be part of the reason you're having these nights out alone, waiting for other people to do the work that you won't do, right? How about you meet at the very least meet them halfway? So maybe you start the interaction, and, ask them to invest, uh, but you got to at least do something up front, right? Um, so yeah, doing that, and then doing a little bit more, and feeling like, oh, they like I said, I'm maybe not getting enough from them, or running out of things to say, or not quite feeling like this is going well, right? Part of what it is like still wanting them to just be like, yeah, this is great, this is fun, and like, of course you want the other person to enjoy your company, like normal. At the same time, like, a better place to be coming from though is one of just sharing. Like, I'm just sharing, and hey, if I share and it actually turns out that like that doesn't really vibe with you and doesn't resonate with you and ain't really what you about, and you ain't really about it right now, like, cool. It wasn't really about you. It was about me sharing. So, okay, I'll go on to the next person and continue to share. And, oh, you're not responding the way I maybe would have hoped. Well, I'm still sharing. Like, I still am sharing because I wanted to share. And so, even though the response isn't there yet, I'm gonna still keep sharing if it's not uncomfortable, right? If the consent is still there. And that's the thing, is that like these interactions weren't bad. It wasn't like people wanted me to leave. Didn't walk away when I stopped talking. Um, in fact, some of them were looking over and wanted me to pick back up and continue the conversation. But they also weren't at the point yet where they were comfortable or open or expressing in the same way. And so, taking the responsibility onto my own shoulders, right? Demonstrating leadership as one should, right? What can I do to change things? It's recognizing that I need to be coming from that place of just sharing more, right? That will help me talk more, right? That will help me walk up and start more conversations, right? Beyond the ones that I just did, right? That will help me express authentically, because it is just sharing, whatever is on my mind, right? And that's the other part, is like lowering the bar, right there. You may be thinking something or feeling something, or may notice that, hey, my mind's like pretty blank right now. I'm just listening to music, or I'm the bass is pumping, but my body feels like pretty calm or relaxed, right? Those are things that you could think, right? That you could just assess in your body, and as you assess them in your body, you could just turn to the person and say it, right? You could just walk up. Oh, excuse me. Hey, I just came over because I thought it was really interesting how the bass is loud here and the music's going, the lights are flaring, but my body's still pretty calm. And, it's kind of weird. Blah 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 blah. Still talking, right? They may not just, oh yeah, well my body, blah blah blah. Like, the reaction may not be there. Fine, give them the opportunity to like assess you, to see what you're about, to pick up on your vibe, to get a chance to see your personality, right? So all these things, right? Again, Friday night, not the best, but also in identifying, talking about these things, right? It ensure and like just the accumulated experience and um, progression, like way better than nights out before. Um, Still talking to people again. Saturday, not a great night either. Um, you know, Still dancing with different people, starting different conversations. Um, Different people, different women, uh, and it's all like that was the other thing. Like part of it is about the expectations too. Like it can be easy to just say hello to someone, or even maybe you're not feeling like talking or not feeling as talkative, to wave or to you know do a little motion one way or the other. Hey, bless up, or tip the hat, or raise the glass, or shoot the fun gun, like whatever, right? Like it can be nonverbal, like to do something and like push yourself, make yourself uncomfortable, and because you're pushing up against that resistance, right? Against like that self-imposed barrier, because it's a barrier on your expression, on your authenticity, on your opportunity, on your satisfaction, on your happiness, on your quality of life, on your income, on your love life. Right? It's limiting all those things, right? Like it really, 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 really is. Like this is deep. Like it's wired into us. We are people. We are living beings. Part of what is within us is a drive to survive and replicate. And if you can't get this part of your life handled for whatever reason or reasons, or even if you've just given up and not tried, like it does have impacts on your mind, right? Feel like beyond just what you may be thinking or accustomed to, or like way beyond what you even realize. Like I've seen it and 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 seen it again and again and again and again and again. That's why I'm so passionate about this, right? That is why I'm putting into time to help change this, right? Because I don't want this. Like, ah, last night I even ran into this dude that I know I'd seen most before and talked to and remembered him. He was out alone, happy for him, right? He said he was trying to get out and be more social. I remember the conversation, but he was stuck, man. He couldn't pull himself up. He 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 was stuck, and like generally I don't, a lot of people are there, and like you shouldn't even really be thinking that like people people are like caring or paying attention to you, right? That may be way beyond what is reality. Um, but I was paying attention to this too, right? Because I remember him. He was cool once, I talked to him and everything else. Um, However, like the vibe and the negativity also was showing up, and it was like spreading and emanating, and it made it to where I did not really want to go and just like it was kind of one of those things of like, right, I'm gonna have to come over and like jump into the water to help pull you up, but because you're like flailing and don't know how to swim, once I come, you're also gonna like pull me down to try and like hold on to me. And so it's like, do I really feel like pulling us both up? Do I feel like doing the extra work of pulling you up? Or do I say, well, it's good that you are doing the work of trying to pull yourself up, and I'm happy for you. And once you've done a little bit more of that work, then that's when we'll really be able to chill, right? Like that's kind of where it's at, right? And it is selfish. It is even a little bit elitist. At the same time, it is self-serving and it is like a practical thing. It is a thing of um, it will affect me, and I am going to put myself in the situations, environments, conditions that are best for me. And it's not even a thing about like a judgment about the person. It's just a thing of like, um, at this time, at this place, I'm out to practice and grow and put in the work, right? Like, and I want to be in the best conditions for that. And so I'm gonna do what it takes, right? And if that means that we don't see each other as often, then that's what it means, men and women. Like, because that's also another thing that's happening is like, more people want to hang out and everything else, and just, I'm sorry, hey, that sounds cool, could be nice, but I'm not going to be doing it. Uh, and again, no offense. Like, it's not even a thing of like looking down on it because like some of these people are like very cool. And I do want to hang out with them. I do want to spend more time with them. Like, at the same time, like this is a priority. I feel like this is again like I need to do this for my life. Um, it's part of who I am, and so I think the people that are really close, that really understand me, I really have had the chance to talk to about this, that really have heard me out, understand that, and I'm sure it will be the same for you. So um, it starts though with you being committed. So commit, do it, get it. Take care.